top lane tanks get banned.
Sion
Currently,
guy.
the big one, Sion, still available as far as the meat for the top side.
No, Sion is not a champion Ssumday has played yet. Also want to point out, we are on patch 9.3. This does mean, of course, you have Aatrox nerfed significantly. York, of course, still very good. Also, the Spell Thief top lane is gone as well. That hotfix is in, so it's pretty much non-viable. We're not going to see that play here in North America. But Sylas will be the first lock-in here of this matchup, and it's probably going to Ssumday, but it is flexible.
So a first pick Sylas, it always makes me think, oh my God, this guy must have put a lot of games onto Sylas, because most teams right now think it's so much better as a counter pick after you already see the ult you're going after. But with an early 100 Thieves pick here, I'm very excited to see who it is. Is it Ssumday or is it huhi in the mid lane that are going to take that one? Meanwhile, though, one of the ones that we've seen so much of, Zoe and Ezreal, this poke combination is so powerful through mid and late game.
They're definitely back here in this one. Speaking of champions who are back, Ashe in here as well. Definitely, I think, quite strong top. This one has some variants in builds allowed as well. I do want to keep talking about Sylas a bit, though, and specifically who he's going to be played by, because Ssumday, to me, is on form and has been for several games. Huhi had a couple of good games, but has been having a slightly weaker split. If they give it to him, then they say, hey, we have faith in you, huhi, you're ready to go. But based on what I've seen on stage, I'd expect a champion like Sylas to go to Ssumday.
It seems so weird if the other team has the same conclusion as you, though, and you're like, oh, you're already showing us an early Sylas. That seems like a bad draft move if you don't have the flexibility. I think the power has to come from that guesswork, but we'll see what FlyQuest go into it, because, you know, if FlyQuest take some sort of bully top laner like Viper wants to play, right? This is a guy that wants to win the lane against Sylas. So we'll take a look here, because Sejuani already coming out, to me, does hint at some more melee solo laners here for FlyQuest.
Yeah.
Because, and especially melee champions stack up the stun so well, Sejuani makes melee kill lanes really, really, powerful.
Dude, I'm hopeful.
Aurelia also got
Aurelia's
buffs on this patch, so that's another option in addition to, you know, the signature champions you're talking about.
And so you're seeing some of these bans come through right now. We know the only place Jace would go right now is top lane with a Zoe and Ezreal locked in. Perks is not on this lineup, so we know that it's not a bot lane Zoe. So Jace off the table is one of the champions Viper could have played. We're seeing two frontline tank bans and somewhat initiating tanks as well. Olaf's not great at it, but Zac certainly is. And Sejuani got poached by Santorin himself, so trying to remove 100 Thieves' aggressive options. Ashe can, of course, do it pretty reasonably well, but wait to see what they actually do want to pick for themselves in the jungle role and what that last solo top lane flex is. You can see the Fiora ban in there. Again, they're kind of on the same read that you have, Kobe, that it's an aggressive melee top laner up there. I'm still hoping for Riven, though.
Definitely a couple of bullies banned out here, and we've seen a lot of Jace as well. Jace would really complement the poke comp that's already Zoe and Ezreal. That would be very oppressive as far as the mid game. Here we go, though, an early lock-in for JayJ of Braum. That's not a big surprise to anybody. It's been the Ornn and the Braum, and Ornn is banned free.
Yep. Yeah, no one's going to let FlyQuest get that champ for a while. Other than Riven, I think we could see maybe Yasuo up there as well. I think it would be pretty solid. And it's pretty hard to give Sylas a good Yasuo ult, since there's not any knockouts outside of this Jarvan now on this lineup. And what's it going to be? Of course, not Bard. Tahm Kench is already there for aphromoo. But alongside that Jarvan jungle, what's the last solo lane going to be for 100 Thieves? What's going to complement Sylas and this Jarvan jungle?
Yeah, I like how FlyQuest are making them.
Ooh!
The classic Aurelian Soul. Get him to roam early.
I like it a lot. This is definitely a huhi special. It will be Ssumday playing Sylas up in that top lane. And now Viper, you've seen the whole draft. What are you playing? I'm hoping aggro melee.
Specifically, though, I really like this huhi Aurelian Soul pick against the Zoe.
Yes!
Oh my God, he did.
Yes, he's bringing out the Riven! Oh, I am so happy just to see it played.
Oh my goodness. All Riven mains will be holding their breath for this game to see how Viper does. We were hoping for a melee all-in matchup to go into this Sylas. They have Sejuani on their squad. They can stack the stuns. With Riven, by the way, it's so easy to layer the Sejuani stuns.
Yep.
You move in with your Q auto, you immediately W to get your stun. Then with the Sejuani, you can stack up 2 more procs of it. She gets the last proc herself. You can proc your Permafrost. If she's level 6, you can even use that one.
Yep.
So like the stun combinations with those two are actually insane.
We had Viper on LCS cooldown. I asked him how many times he's played Riven. He said over 10,000.
Yep.
Over 10,000 games of Riven experience.
And by the way, he beat Freak in a 1v1 down 2 levels and a Caulfield's Warhammer, I believe.
Yes. But he had summoner spells and I didn't because mine were backwards. Either way, though, he's a great player. This is going to be super exciting. And it's going to be a whole bunch of fun here. 100 Thieves and FlyQuest about ready to hit the rift.
Today is like Christmas, Freak. We saw Froggen's Anivia earlier, and now we get Viper's Riven on display. Definitely in store for some fireworks.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun in this one. Players already nodding. I like that smile on Viper before he locked in the champion. I kind of saw it coming. He's like, yeah, we're going for my main.
As soon as it was announced he was on the main roster here for FlyQuest, people were like, oh my God, you know, he played Riven a bunch in Academy. He's not going to be able to do that on LCS. Well, turns out he is allowed to do that in the LCS. And we're going to see against Sylas. So Sylas options for ultimate steals. I always like going over those as well, Freak. I think the best one, probably the Ezreal as well as the Sejuani. Probably the best 2. Riven's one is decent because he does have a lot of mobility to go for the all-ins with it as well.
All right, well, we do have a sideline report from the FlyQuest coach, Invert. Take it away.
Thanks, guys. Invert, you said that we would only see Viper's Riven if he had to bring him out. So what was it?
Well, they picked Aurelion Sol and Tom Kench, and so if you're going to go for something with a lot of pressure in the side lane, it has to be something that's really mobile. So Riven can get out of those situations really easily. So now is the time to bring it out. I think it's a really good game for it, and I hope Viper gets to show everyone why he's one of the best tops in North America. So,
Invert, thank you so much, and best of luck to you. Back to you guys.
Really easily? So I definitely agree with all the points. I don't know if it's going to be really easy to get out of an Aurelion Soul Roam and an Abyssal Voyage coming your way, but Viper is the man to do it.
Yep, he's a little sneaky like that. So we'll see what happens. We wait to go into this one. Yeah, we can see what he did with Academy last split. Lots of bans in the 28-game season. Actually, sorry, 18-game split. As I get my numbers correct there. Either way, certainly a strong performer, and he's going to be leashing topside for Santorin here on the red buff.
Yeah, I mean, we got really caught up in the Viper pick here for Riven, but we can also go over the early game plans for both teams, kind of setting this one up, because it is super interesting, right? We've got Huhi in the mid lane. You want to try and push against Zoe super early on as Aurelion Souls. Her wave clear early was one of the nerfs that they did a while back when they were trying to take some power down from Zoe. And so your idea for this 100 Thieves composition for the early game is you get Huhi roaming early, and once you have your Ash Arrow, use that as well to try and pick somebody off and look for those early kills to start to snowball. Meanwhile, FlyQuest, Freak, you've seen this composition a couple times. Zoe and Ezreal scaling up for some poke composition in the mid game are going to be supplemented by, like Invert was talking about, a side laner that is going to be able to have pressure and high mobility to get out of those roams.
So the thing you want to watch for when you've got a poke comp on one team is what does the opponents have to stop this poke or to deal with the poke, and you've got Jarvan and Ashe and even Tom Kench is pretty good engage tools. So there definitely are ways in. If somebody gets up,
Sejuani
he can steal Sejuani. Exactly, that's next step here. So there are, there's recompense here. Even if Viper's winning the side lane, the 4-on-4 can be won by either side. It's up to, I think, how you actually navigate and play around them.
All right, now we're seeing a lot of the Sylas early lane phase here. Ssumday doing a good job. You want to weave an auto attack in between your spells. Bad job there. Does miss out on the cannon last hit, so that one's going to hurt. But he's getting the most out of his wave push. And that's one of the things, trying to keep Riven under the turret, try and force Viper to miss some CS. That's where this early 2 CS lead is coming from for Ssumday. Does cost him some mana. But as well, you can hold on to your heal for Ssumday on Sylas for those all-ins. Wait till you get below 40% for the big boost in healing. And hopefully that will come in before the execute from Riven's ultimate. You just need to hit that timing window.
We've got a fight down here, of course, and fighting off against JayJ. Put him at half HP, but that Rom was enough to buy the space for Santorin to grab that blue buff. A nice try by Anda to poach this, and actually, he's bringing aphromoo in as well. Goes for the knock-up and pushes Santorin out of his own jungle, so that will be a camp stolen away. And he gets a little bit of help from aphromoo, make sure it's out of range, and assuredly, he's got the damage. Now he's gonna get it.
Whew, very close on the patience bar on that Grump, but timed very well by 100 Thieves, and they will successfully steal away that camp. Now, by the way, Anda does have 3 of his own to go back and farm. The entire team should be calling out, hey, Sejuani has literally nothing to go back to into her jungle, so she's going to be out looking for wards at the very least right now, and possibly a gank. It was just spotted right there as well, so easy pings start to come down for 100 Thieves, and they can continue to track Santorin. Wow. Anda does farm up the red side jungle.
Yeah, so he goes down to his Krugs right here. I think Santorin's read was that Gromp was up, and he's running all the way over to that. There's the wards. It is available, and wants to know if top lane's important or not. It seems like it's just going to be simply walking around and going for that camp. So ultimately, at the end of the day, they'll be trading Gromp, but I believe Scuttle Crab control was pretty solid on the 100 Thieves side. And either way, this game is very, very close throughout the early game. Farms traded pretty equally. And wait to see when the side lane pushes might happen. It shouldn't be too hard for Ssumday to last hit down here as he warms up the minions, and will stay pretty close to equal to Viper's farm here.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that he's playing appropriately, and we see the communication, right? Anda wants to cement his lead in the jungle and keep those numbers up for his bottom side clear. So they say, our weak side is top side. Ssumday, yes, I know you've been pushing the wave, but play safe now. And he backs off, lets Viper push it in, and they get the reset here. That does mean that Viper gets a very nice recall, though. Early executioners. I love seeing this utility buy for himself. That burst healing we're talking about for Silas coming in below 40%. He might bait himself. Because if you're relying on that and Riven has the ultimate up and Executioners is on you, the execution damage will still come through. Huhi does take a chunk.
Yeah, nice damage. Now Jungler's fighting over top Scuttle as Anda's going to probably push Santorin out. Gets the knockup. He's trying to body block the Q. Eventually he can guess the right way. And actually, no, has to burn the flash. He's too afraid of what might happen there. Maybe it was on cooldown, but
the model
it was available, but yeah, the model's so big.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult to try and get your giant Sejuani model out of the body of any other jungler that's trying to body block you.
But this is just impressive. Anda is absolutely winning the jungle matchup right here in Jarvan versus Sejuani, and you can see the gold difference over 100. The XP lead's certainly there as well. It's 5 versus, I guess, barely 5, so it's not too bad on that one, but certainly Anda having a great time in this early game, doing really good stuff.
Yeah, not a huge surprise. Really good job coordinating with his team and moving in with the Jarvan for pressure. We talked about the bottom lane when aphromoo went to go help him out as well. And that is how you need to play the jungle in the early game.
Yep.
It's definitely a team objective. And now we're to the point that we also alluded to where the Aurelion Soul wants to start roaming and the Ashe is approaching level 6. That is the key to look for kills, because even if you use your Ashe Arrow just in your own lane and you're not looking for those super long range ones, that's how you get the lockdown to get an actual first blood. These are 3 TPs on the side of FlyQuest currently, since JayJ does have his Spellbook teleport on.
All right, Santorin spotted once more by Bang pushing in. That's the couple of plates down in this bottom lane. 2 plates already gone, so 300 extra gold gained in that bottom lane, and that's looking pretty solid. This dual lane's going pretty well. A pretty effortless BF sword recall for Ashe as well, so that's going to be an IE rush. Plenty of early damage available there, and it's just Turtle slowly stacking his tier.
I really like these control wards on bottom side. 100 Thieves know they have so much pressure with this Ashe Tahm Kench lane constantly at the tower that with a couple of control wards, you secure yourself an early dragon. Mountain Drake gonna help chip away at the turret plates, which they've already gotten 2 of on the bottom side due to the Ashe volley doing so much work early game. This is also gonna make the next Drake spawn much quicker, and they can continue to try and control this area.
Take another quick look at top side. It's only a 5 CS difference, so Ssumday's holding on to this. I guess you can call it a counter pick. Here he blind picked it, and Viper got last choice, and he's just stacking armor to survive. He went Grasp to get better sustain, and he's so far doing pretty well at that one. We'll wait to see later on who can team fight and split push better, but this has been pretty par for the course. Or I should say pretty equal despite getting counterpicked. Yeah,
I mean, so the counterpick to me is a lot for what they want to do with the composition. Like Guibert was talking about later in the game, super mobile for pressuring side lanes. Early on, lane's been going pretty close to even here. It is also due to the jungle pressure. You know, you talked about Ando was doing a lot of invading there, but no fireworks, as we're hoping for. Be patient.
Not just yet. We'll get fireworks later. I believe it. July's not for a few months, but I think it's still going to come through at some point. And this time it's Ssumday's turn to push the rest of the wave in. Viper will last it under turret. Huhi too far away to get any damage on him from Pobelter, so that's just fine. Once again, these gold pretty close together, 400 to 500 apart, most of that being the bottom lane difference. You can see right there a solid, only about 100 thanks to Kleptomancy, but you can see a difference on the supports a little bit there, and again, the just little bits throughout everything.
Meanwhile, mid lane, blue handed off to Huhi here to help him try and push this lane. Zoe, though, Pobelter already up to level 8, so he doesn't have a problem firing off the paddle stars and getting the wave pushed back. Looks like they're going to be a pretty even trade. Anda does get some vision back here on the top triangle, but it's not going to be a really big move. And Santorin on the Sejuani, super happy now. He's up to the level 6. He was able to recover decently in the jungle. Anda actually still chipping away at it, though.
Yeah, little bits.
So no solo lanes to support him.
Yeah.
Get your hand caught in the cookie jar there in the Raptor pit with no solo laners, and you know that could be the difference in giving over first blood to something like the Riven. Viper was heading down, has flash.
Yep. Ultimate's available on everyone. Certainly a lot of damage is available here on these squads, but otherwise it's still FlyQuest. Just towing the line, waiting around, and having a pretty moderate early game here. It's only been Anda really doing too much across all 10 of these players. And we keep waiting to see what will come out later on, and when we will see Huhi roam, when we will see aphromoo put an ultimate down somewhere.
Yep, they are all ready. Meanwhile, bottom side, Turtle working pretty well. He's got his magical boots already came in, and he's working on getting the transformation of his Muramana. Pushing back nowadays.
Control Ward gives a little bit of space to mid lane here for Huhi, but still no ganks. Pobelter just kind of sitting back and farming, and honestly, I feel like this is pretty good for Zoe, just kind of going equal and farming up and trying to scale. Generally speaking, Aurelion Sol is not considered an amazing late game champion. Does have some new scalings, right? You can point blank the Q for team fighting against melee's a bit better. The stun duration actually goes up for those cross map plays that happened a couple of patches ago, where if you're going for one of those around the world long range Qs, you can get more stuns out of it. That can matter later on in team fights, so you can watch for that for Huhi later on. Another fight in the top side, but really it's not a whole lot. Just the occasional grass proc out of Ssumday, a little bit of Q damage. Damage on a Viper puts him down to about 2/3, but looks like he's doing okay.
His Conqueror proc there was ready. That could be the signal for their all-in, but currently, yeah, he's playing it very defensively. He doesn't want to overextend because, look, they don't have very much vision of the jungles. Huhi fighting with Pobelter pretty close.
Yeah, another minion pick up on that exhaust, gets some decent damage. Pobelter is getting very slowly worn down here, just a little bit done. Of course, both these players have won championships on CLG before, back-to-back. Pobelter went on to win 2 with Liquid, and now he's here.
That's true.
Ex-teammates, ex-competitors. Competitors again on different teams.
Yeah, I mean, technically, Pobelter was moved out of the way for Huhi on CLG, so.
Whew. And now moves Huhi out of the way of mid lane. Take some farm. Pobe has been really good. I think as a player, it's strange because I feel like his story, he's been on so many successful teams, and I feel like frequently doesn't get the full credit for what he contributed. He's got a lot of titles. I think he's incredibly good domestically. Hasn't had the best chance at international, but...
Oh, that was it. They were going for the combo, the stun lock we talked about. If Viper gets that off, Santorin follows it up with his own charge and ultimate.
Yeah.
But Ssumday, nice reaction there as well, is able to get out without having to spend a summoner spell, so that's a huge win for him.
Good arcane shift, though. He's out of range of all of it, and that is no summoners down. Just the Ash Arrow and some health off JayJ. But look at that. Plate 3, and here's Huhi. Here's the first big roam, and it forced them off. It's going to be plate number 4 as well.
They're just going to get the whole thing.
Well, they got to wait for minions, I think, because this is going to chip away.
Oh, baby, I don't know.
I guess you can backdoor it. Yeah, it's not going to fall off. So first turret, 13 minutes, 3 seconds. Bang and aphromoo handily ahead in that bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, they had one Mountain Drake helping them burn through it. Now they're going to have another Mountain Drake ready for Baron. And with how much, you know, mobility this composition has, there's a very real possibility of 100 Thieves pressuring side lane so heavily early on and using the Tahm Kench and the Aurelion Sol that the Baron pressure of 2 Mountain Drakes just completely breaks this mid game.
Yeah, and this Ashe is scaling. Keep in mind, getting first turret through all the plates is 1,450 gold. It's worth 3 kills to get a turret like that. And some of this gets answered back. Sure, there's 3 plates down top side, so you're getting a bit of that here, but does not do what Ashe really did in this early game. So Bang is going to be super far ahead. He's ready to scale up, and there's only a tank and a half on that opposing lineup.
Oh, he's going with the crit build as well for Ashe. Infinity Edge first, into Zeal item second. So he's going more DPS, not quite as much survivability utility maybe as people who favored the early Blade of the Ruin Kings or Phantom Dancers and the like, but you could tell Bang is looking to put the DPS out this game.
Well, he's definitely been an incredible player before, multiple world champion. And his goal here in North America is do it again from a different region and prove that he's still got it after a somewhat lackluster year on SK Telecom T1. And if he's back on form, honestly, he and Ssumday and the rest of this crew, I think, have what it takes to go far and do well. It was a weak start, though, 3 losses in a row. But now it's 3 wins in a row and trying to take down FlyQuest, who shares 3rd place with them. Would be a good way to show that you're back on form.
Yeah, honestly, FlyQuest have been one of the top dogs here in the LCS this year. They have performed admirably even in their losses, and even against Team Liquid. Very strong early game performances. There haven't been these big, oh god, what are they doing moments. They have been smaller mistakes and little things that have chipped away in their 3 losses, rather than one huge thing you can point to. Right now, big roam from 100 Thieves. Everybody going topside here. 4 members trying to pressure this turret.
4 on each side as well. The Zoe's in the jungle, and so is Santorin here on this Sejuani. So
mid laner's going back.
No doubt to be had. Pobelter walking through wards, though, so this is actually a vision lead to 100 Thieves. They know where a lot of FlyQuest are and can kind of play around this one. And it gets into a brush, can try to trap a bad move from Zoe, but she goes the safe way around.
Bottom side, remember, Ssumday versus Viper is a flash discrepancy. Ssumday has the flash advantage.
Going for the big play. Ulti's popped here into this one, and now we're going to keep them going forward for the fights, but look how fast Ssumday is. Running away, finds a bit of a slow, and here comes Aurelion Sol. Finds a knockback, gets a stun as well. How can Viper get out? Health bar's running down, tries to get the damage. It's not enough. First blood to Ssumday.
That's that side lane control we talked about. Aurelion Sol roams on down. Doesn't matter how mobile your champion is. Ssumday baits him in, and they find the kill. First blood going to 100 Thieves.
Big chunk, not quite actually, and far enough away. And he's gonna flag and drag back towards.
Ult for flash.
Ow! Asher almost lands. That could have been a whole crap ton of damage. Didn't have to burn flash. Did burn heal to get away. Top outer goes down, so 500 gold picked up there. And a nice little chunk, but a good stun to trade. And well, here's Tahm Kench. So after running forward as fast as he can, Flash Q trades the flash away. Pobelter's alive.
Yeah, aphromoo looking for his old teammate there. Pobelter goes back in, does get the sleep, but this tower is going to take a lot of damage. Bang is not hesitating.
Big hit there as Minute gets cleared away. And I got to point out, despite everything earned by 100 Thieves, the gold basically identical across these teams. And ooh, that's Sejuani ult stolen away. So Ssumday to go for a big engage if they need it.
Yep, through the CS and through trading that tower back, FlyQuest staying close in gold. They are down the double Mountain Drakes, which hurts them on pushing power for objectives, but sleep landing here.
Gonna follow up, Battlestar for a little bit. Not gonna be too crazy yet.
Not sure if JayJ meant to throw that Q past him, but didn't proc the sleep damage either. Also not taking tower aggro, so that would be the reason for not shooting it at him.
I would expect they're waiting for Battlestar to land and just gonna wait out that cooldown, but either way, not a lot gained. Quick knock up there. The smite goes, I believe, to Anda. Now, traps in the cage, forcing the flash away from Santorin. Here comes the rest of the squad. Ooh. That's the Glacial Prison, and Ssumday is going to get part of the second kill of the game as well. 2-0 for the first pick, Silas.
I gotta say, NA Silas looking good once again. This time around, 2 kills to Ssumday. Using a champion's own ult to kill them the best way of taking them down.
Beautiful stuff there. Ssumday going for a tank build as well. Of course, he's fighting a Riven. Knows physical damage is a big part of that FlyQuest lineup, so Ninja Tabby into more of the same.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things about Silas we were talking about was the versatility. runes, build, everything adaptable to how the game goes. Santorin there, though, Enda knows that he has one extra card each time. Ssumday flashes over, lands the Glacial Prison. He knew there was no mobility left for Santorin because Enda burned every single thing he had, including the flash.
Yep. That's all she wrote. So 2-0 on the scoreboard. Game's still pretty close to 500 gold apart. That's what you get for an extra kill right there. And FlyQuest still fighting for control. This is still a very competitive game.
Infernal Drake is up as well, so it might get pretty competitive around this river. You can tell they're already fighting really heavily for these control wards.
Ssumday has True Shot Barrage. It will be lower damage. Keep in mind that it is Tank Silas, not full AP, so it's not going to be the same kind of burst damage that WildTurtle was able to bring out with that spell. Level 11, essentially. Rank 2 Ultra both these players.
And the same token, he has a lot of cooldown reduction with the Iceborne Gauntlet as well as the Kindle Gem built in there. So you can really get a lot of ultimate steals and use multiple ones. Plus, he can get inside the team fight to use the Braum-style ones that are a little bit lower range.
Definitely a pretty decent sort of army of choices here for Ssumday as they get rid of some of the wards, heal back up their health and mana, and wait to see if they want to start that Infernal Drake here, who he's still waiting in the wings. And there is not a ton of vision, a little bit that FlyQuest can see, but
he wants it.
And the Thieves gonna look for the sun, not gonna get that one yet. Almost went into Santorin.
All right, Ash Arrow goes wide, as does the Bubble. Definitely an opening here with the Ash Arrow being a huge cooldown and a very powerful piece for 100 Thieves. They're gonna back right off after they missed it.
So again, Ezreal tag right there with a True Shot Barrage, getting a decent chunk of damage, but one they can recover from.
Again though, side lane, Aurelion Sol, look who he snuck away. He pushed down the side lane, so it's all the way to FlyQuest turret right now before heading right back to this mid lane pressure point. And see if that side lane is enough to get them the start on Infernal.
Turtle's burned his ultimate 4 wave clear, so it seems like FlyQuest really wanted to get away, but that's kind of the signal the 100 Thieves can fight. It's Ezreal no longer at full power. He will burn Teleport to get back in a lane. Viper's will come back down as well. But this Drake is getting burned down. It will be spited away. Infernal picked up. And looks like there's going to be no fight to be had, so FlyQuest starting to lose more and more pieces of this map.
Yeah, a lot of people like to meme on some of these games when everybody just sits in mid lane for so long with 5 people. 100 Thieves taking advantage here, not sitting there in the 5-on-5 stare contest. Huhi gets out, pushes the wave, that gets them the opening of 30 seconds to go for that Infernal Drake, and they take it.
Beautiful stuff right here. 100 Thieves getting farther ahead now. 1,000 gold lead is pretty solid, and the triple Drake certainly nothing to shake a stick at as they keep on scaling up.
I never got that saying.
I don't actually know the etymology, honestly.
Is that like, you're shaking a stick at it, you're like, ha, you mean
It's
nothing.
bad. Yeah, I
Take
guess.
that stick in your face.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly, like if you go to Merriam-Webster's dictionary and they've got the one on phrases, that's the exact phrasing. You actually quoted it perfectly.
Nice.
Yeah, good job, Kobe.
Knew I had it in me.
You always did.
Meanwhile, this is what we like to see for lane assignments in teams that do have this type of mobility. You have the Tahm Kench sitting with your marksman, whichever one it is, in the mid lane here, keeping Bang safe while also threatening moving that marksman to whichever side of the map does find the confrontation. So you can see Ssumday has his teleport. He's going bottom. Huhi on the Aurelion Sol should be able to roam up there. He actually went bottom first, so it's going to take him a while to head up and catch up on the minion wave, but it's going to remain very mobile from that pivot point.
Well, still these top laners are on the sides, and FlyQuest is doing what he can to knock down the waves, but Ssumday gets to farm not only the minions, but also part of the jungle and get just ever so slightly the bigger leads over time. 100 gold at a time.
Yep, and now Huhi finally is in the top side. He's moving that wave up as well. So slowly, they're going to be able to gain this timing advantage once again. Every 30 seconds for the minion wave, push that up, find your opening, make your little move in, chip away at the objective.
Not quite getting that one there. But look at the play, not even hitting Anda either. But still, at some point, we'll see that poke come online. We'll see him group. We'll see him try to push people off those turrets. The engage, of course, is still threatening, and you wait to see as we get through the mid-game. These teams have different styles ahead of them, different ways they want to approach team fights. And so far, it's been side lane pushes. It's been Ssumday getting those advantages. One of them was bringing Huhi down. One of them was catching Sword at Santorin, taking a Scuttle Crab. That's been the only kills so far. And the 5-on-5, 100 Thieves have pushed FlyQuest away.
Definitely has been the case up until this point. So much dragon control has resulted from 100 Thieves really taking that initiative. Their last outer turrets, nope, they have got bottom one still, so their second outer turrets, very, very close to going down though. FlyQuest still chipping away here. They're definitely still close in this game, despite being so far down in pressure.
Gold is still within reach. One good team fight's all you need. There's definitely plenty of CC here, a lot of burst damage.
And they find the collapse.
Okay, he steals JJ's ultimate. And it's enough threat that mid lane is seeded. And once again, 100 Thieves able to find those little advantages to push FlyQuest away, who aren't quite able to 5-on-5 them. And just advantage by advantage, they get more of the map.
This is some of the controlled gameplay that we've seen even last year from 100 Thieves. When they had aphromoo and they were touting the late game shot calling and the methodical objective movements here, this is kind of what you're expecting. FlyQuest, though, are answering back at every turn, still trading back turret for turret, still staying very, very close in gold here.
And I think the next spike they're waiting for is this tier to stack up for WildTurtle. 265 of the 750 needed, so that can turn into a full Seraph's Embrace, and that will be a big power spike for him. And I stun. JayJ burns the cleanse off the spellbook. Back to heal now, gets away from it, but hey, Ben gets a sort of fake summoner out.
All right, so Ash Arrow, the cost for the summoner spell burn, and not going to get hit by the bubble.
No, instead they just clear the waves out and back into the pit to once again darken the map. And we can see not the deepest of wards, but a couple here for 100 Thieves, but it's actually far, far worse. If you take a look at FlyQuest vision, it is abysmal right there, and they have no idea what's going on.
And specifically, I want to compliment Onda on his vision. He has been constantly purchasing control wards. He's spamming his sweeper. His vision score is the highest in the whole game, 60 for the jungler here for 100 Thieves. Constantly going for the invades, but he's not wasting his time moving there either. He's always sweeping through FlyQuest wards and putting down 100 Thieves vision for themselves as well. Really like to see that from this. Also, you know, technically one of the younger guys as well, even though he's been, you know, on the team for a while. His LCS debut wasn't as, you know, hyped up as a lot of the other guys on that squad. There's so many big names on this squad that have come together.
Yep.
Yeah, Onda's doing so much work.
Onda's probably becoming one of my favorite junglers here in North America. I think he is incredibly, incredibly good. He's against Santorin, who is, of course, a former LCS champion himself, back with TSM, and I think he's had a good year as well. Two very good players. It's going to be another flash forced out, and Onda just keeps burning more and more from his opponents. He is definitely outperforming Santorin. More gold, more XP, more vision score, more everything.
Yeah, definitely burns another flash and kills another ward. And I think a lot of the vision score is coming from zombie wards as well for him. I believe he has that one. I think I saw one.
Sure. But you only get points if you actually see some with them, so it's still useful. Feels decent there. Santorin went precision secondary, so no zombies on his side. And now Ben gonna burn his own cleanse away. Here's a big knockover for the first big team fight of the game. No kills just yet. Finally, aphromoo going down, and the fight will continue. Viper looking for more on the backside. The win as Onda jumps over the wall. Not yet stunned. Finally does. And Viper's on the board. 2 for 0 FlyQuest.
There's your big team fight, Freak. This opens up Baron. And taking away Baron from a double Mountain Drake team just is a huge sigh of relief for FlyQuest. If they can complete this objective right now, we'll see. 100 Thieves know this is a critical moment. They're moving up. They want to try and contest.
Well, there's no spite. Only a couple of ultimates between Huhi and
a lot of question marks.
There's a lot of question mark pings, hoping they can see what's going on, but it's still in darkness, and who's going to even bother to try? You do not have that same smite. It's going to be a blocking shield coming in for JayJ, buying the time. Smite should be easy, and indeed it's picked up there. Ensuing team fight, 5v3 with low health bars. Will they run away? And they will indeed. One kill picked up on the backside, but I will take a death of the support for a Baron any day. FlyQuest getting ahead.
FlyQuest right back in it. You said it would just take one team fight, Freak, and they find the pick. Even on the Ashe Tahm Kench here, they go straight for the Tahm Kench. Stacking up the stun onto aphromoo, layering it with the ultimate there. Even though he got his gray health off before the stun, they get that kill, and because Onda and them tried to collapse and protect, they find the second kill, the more important one, the one on the jungler. Viper's able to finish that one off, and they are rewarded with Baron buff. Another dragon, though, still going the way of 100 Thieves, so they're playing the long game.
And they are stacking up these advantages. Sadly for them, only one of these things matters inside of a team fight, inside of combat. They can help you navigate beforehand, this mountain and this ocean drake, but Doesn't quite mean that same difference it could be in the 5-on-5s. We'll wait to see what happens, though. The Ocean Drake can certainly matter in the precursors with all the poke going back and forth. That'll remain to be seen. 700 gold apart as we're going for a steal. Not going to get this one. Bang does have that red buff, and he's going double zeal here off the QSS. Certainly a high damage build here. Static Shiv is certainly best for single target damage. And he's going to look for the stun, forcing a flash out of Pobelter.
Meanwhile, Santorin trying to clear out a flank possibility for him to go in on, but gets his ult stolen. Oof. So there's an enemy Sejuani ultimate now too.
And Turtle lost flash. Huhi on the side lane pops an ult, got that one out. Now they're knocking up the front line. Big tanky Santorin as the turret goes on the bottom side, so it's 5v4. Now the TP comes in. They have to push in to help Viper get through this one. Oh, he missed on just yet. There's the dunk on in, and this looks like it's gonna be FlyQuest going for the chase. Looking to get somebody here. A stun onto Ssumday, but they're gonna pull him right back out and spit him away. Ulti comes across, but the health bar is still healthy enough. There's a drowsy Jarvan, jumps back to the flag and drag, tanked up by aphromoo. Puts on the shield. No snipes just yet, but it's a lot of map control. That turret is sure to fall, and FlyQuest win another fight.
FlyQuest are gonna be able to push down the turret with the Baron buff as well. Get some gold for themselves. What a slippery little team fight here through the middle. And that is going to be one turret in payment. I think this Baron buff, with only 1 minute left, they probably won't get anything else out of it. So that's going to be the total bounty, really, for that play. 2,500 gold for an early Baron. Honestly, not that much. So 100 Thieves mitigating a lot of the loss off of that early pick.
Really nice stuff out of this one. 1,500 gold lead. That Baron power play is positive. They still got about a minute left with this to keep pushing more of the map up. Pobelter steals 14 gold from JayJ. Not the end of the world, and they'll get some vision back again. This map looking a lot brighter now for the FlyQuest side. And they're getting rich off killing all those little tiny sticks with eyes.
What a way to describe them.
Pretty much what they are.
Yeah. Don't go shaking them at the composition here.
I mean, these wards don't shake.
FlyQuest are headed down to the bottom side to ensure that nobody jumps on Viper while he's split pushing here. Riven now level 16, as are the other solo laners, save for Pobelter. So definitely threatening all in. He's also gotten to his Death Dance and an extra BF sword. Now we get to see the Riven flashy plays. As soon as that comes back off of cooldown for FlyQuest, they have so much engage opportunity. And a lot of survivability, honestly, for Riven, even with the Death Dance Black Cleaver combination.
All right, all 5 to the bottom lane, right with the wave. Aurelian's still a bit far away. A Sejuani ult stolen by Ssumday. Does he want to burn it here? Not just yet. They're not going to push with this wave. They can poke for damage, but not much more. Huhi is here to bring the star. And it will be, sadly, not quite the right shape of it. He won't find his opponents there with that one as they kite away. Nice attempt, though. If 100 Thieves were not all there, that would have been a turret picked up, so I can't really complain to that play out of FlyQuest.
Yeah, Zoning Star.
Zoning Star also works well.
Does shove them off, and yeah, that's going to be the end of the Baron buff. So we are back to such a close state here. I think the next bout of fighting over wards, if somebody gets hit by the Ash Arrow or not, is going to be a big difference maker in the next play. Banks so far has been able to get, I think, one on the Braum, was able to secure one of the early kills, but that is about it. See if 100 Thieves clearing out a lot of this vision can again turn the map dark. Remember how well in the early game 100 Thieves had controlled the vision. If we toggle the Fog of War right now, 100 Thieves have been able to almost clean it back out, and FlyQuest are being very cautious.
It's interesting as well, both these teams sort of have partial control of different sides of the map. FlyQuest wards are kind of in the bottom jungle, and 100 Thieves sort of pushes in as then sort of that top side, so a bit unequal. They're going to keep fighting for their parts of the map. 20 seconds separate the Drake spawn from the Baron, so if it goes quickly, you won't lose one for the other, but depending on how much time you buy, you now create this weird optimization.
And it depends on which team you're saying is going for the quick one, because the Double Mountain Drake team, they'll be happy to go for the quick Baron.
Yeah, and 100 Thieves, it feels like, just want that Drake to die to get the Elder on the map, because that's definitely a desync objective. That's way better for one side than the other, so.
Somebody started up.
Yeah, 100 Thieves wants it to die. They could, like, even giving it to FlyQuest for free is almost positive for them.
Yeah, all right, I think they are going to be able to force something here. Looks like we have a bit of a pincer, because Huhi's on the top side, separated from the rest of his team. FlyQuest recognize this.
Damage out of Huhi, burns the ult on this one, though. quick smite grabs the scuttle, and now both objectives are going to be alive next time anyone cares. And Ssumday once again now has Glacial Fissure after hitting True Shot Barrage on a WildTurtle a while ago.
That's right. Level 16, very low cooldown on the ultimate steal.
Yeah.
So you preemptively steal one ultimate using the team fight, steal another one, use that one.
Decent damage. Back to being okay, but it is FlyQuest who now feel like they have control. They're clearing in mid lane first. They can get rid of some of these wards. Got to respect Bang on the side.
GA finished for Viper on the Riven as well. Super excited to see who they go on because Tahm Kench, aphromooo's big job is keeping Bang safe. And he's got a lot to worry about. It's a Braum, Sejuani, and a Riven all looking for the kill onto an Ashe. With just the Tahm Kench here hovering around him. You can see aphromoo stays slight distance away so they both don't get caught up.
Bit of damage there. Pops off the Arctic armor of Santorin. And once again, it's FlyQuest clearing the way first and can once again walk to that top river and get rid of some of these wards. They don't have to worry about mid lane for the next 20 seconds or so. And so off they run, looking for things to kill. One control ward inside the pit. A little bit of poke. Arrow's going to land, but not onto a pristine target. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, 100 Thieves trying to keep them mid because the top lane is pushing slightly in their favor.
Oh, the Ashe. Ssumday puts on the Fissure. True Shot Barrage will not land. Holds traded back and forth once in a while, but Ssumday is actually okay to make these trades. His ultimate cooldown's 12 seconds, so he'll just do another one later on.
Looks like we might just have a full reset. Nobody getting anywhere here. I guess FlyQuest also seeding this Dragon. Dragon can be soloed very easily at this point. Anybody from 100 Thieves can get in there.
And it's Ssumday. Press the button's feeling pretty good. Starting to build some ability power now at the 35th minute of the game, but certainly started as tank, has the Zhonyas, so, you know, 120 AP or so in the build, but not a ton. Still not going to be that big of a threat until a bit later on. Has a slot and a half left to grow with.
Meanwhile, we were also talking about the scaling of the possibility of a pick with Ezreal and Zoe. If a Sleepy Trouble Bubble does land, that person has to be so scared. That's why we saw like 3 ultimates come out last time Bang got hit by a Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Tahm Kench is going to do a lot to mitigate that, but that is what FlyQuest are looking for. Try and get an edge.
And there's a bit of pressure on FlyQuest. Maybe not instantly, but in the next 5-6 minutes there will be, because that third Mountain Drake was picked up, and those neutral objectives will evaporate under concentrated fire from 100 Thieves here. 6 minutes. Actually, it should be 5 when you kill an elemental. It's 5 minutes on the next one, but it will be Elder Drake spawning next. And the Baron, of course, already on the map. Right now, FlyQuest playing for that top river. Fighting for mini waves back and forth. We know the ultimates are mostly up. Gonna find a slow huhi. Goes too far forward. Ultimate backwards, stays alive. Re-stun, cleanse, flash away. The fight is on. Anna going back out though. And Viper's on the side. Look at the damage. Tries to find Bang. He's still alive. Afro keeps him up. But look out for Ssumday. Has another Glacial Fissure. Jumps over the wall. Still being stunned up. Takes some damage. Once again, Viper shuts down 1,000 gold bounty. And now it's Santorin. Popping the stopwatch. A second kill now for the Riven. And still chasing. Ssumday is gonna fall as well. 3 for FlyQuest. They have routed 100 Thieves.
Incredibly well played for FlyQuest right there. Oh my goodness. Viper fights him off 2v1. Both aphromoo and Bang. He gets the kills, and that gets FlyQuest inside the base.
They're going to get at least the inhibitor of the respawn timers over 20 seconds. If they really go for it, there's a chance of the Nexus as well, and you can see them running forwards. So 2v5, a couple low health bars. Mana pools are fine. Look for the big stun. Not going to find it yet. Here's the knockup. There's the dunk. Goes for Santorin. Doesn't find it yet. One turret's down. They continue on towards huhi, and that's going to be the next kill. Santorin's still alive and is next up to die, and they have done it. FlyQuest get the Riven counter pick, and they will knock down 100 Thieves.
No hesitation from FlyQuest after they get those kills. We are ending the game. No one get distracted by a Baron. They go straight down the middle and find themselves at 4-3 now, moving above 50% and up in the standings.
Really, really nice stuff there. I was excited to see Riven come out. I always love pocket picks. Happy to see huhi's Aurelion Soul as well, but Viper 1v2ing the bot lane in the climactic team fight. 1,000 gold bounty for knocking down Bang. That was awesome stuff. It ends a 2-game loss streak. It ends a winless week 3. that FlyQuest had. They end the 3-game winning streak that 100 Thieves had for themselves, and now alone in 3rd place is FlyQuest.
And a lot of patient play as well. These guys had not taken a lot of extra risks. They seeded 5 elemental drakes in total for the entire game.
Yep.